Once upon a time there lived a young girl named Sophie who loved animals, especially unicorns. She had posters and figurines of unicorns all over her room. One night, as Sophie was falling asleep, she made a wish upon a star to meet a real unicorn. The next morning, Sophie woke up and looked out her window to see a beautiful silvery-white unicorn with a rainbow-colored horn standing in her backyard. Sophie couldn't believe her eyes. She quickly got dressed and rushed outside. "Are you real?" she asked the unicorn. The unicorn nodded its head and spoke in a magical voice, "Yes, I'm Starshine and I'm here to grant your wish." Sophie was so excited. She had so many wishes, but one wish stood out above the rest. "I wish to have an adventure with you," she told the unicorn. Starshine knelt down to let Sophie climb onto her back. As soon as she was on, Starshine took off galloping, her hooves barely touching the ground. Sophie held on tight as Starshine brought her to a beautiful, mystical forest filled with giant mushrooms, sparkling crystals, and a rainbow waterfall. Starshine gave her a tour of the magical places in the forest, like the Wishing Well, where Sophie made a wish for world peace by tossing a coin into its shimmering waters. Next, they visited the Tree of Wisdom, whose branches were filled with books. Starshine told Sophie, "If you sit under this tree and read, it will share its wisdom with you." After spending time in the forest, Starshine then took Sophie across a rainbow bridge to a magnificent castle in the clouds. There they met the Cloud King and learned about the rare cloud cream that is made in the castle's kitchens. The cloud cream is light as air but tastes sweeter than candy. Sophie got to sample some, and it was delicious. As the day went on, Sophie and Starshine became good friends. When it came time for Sophie to return home, she felt sad that their magical adventure had to end. But Starshine promised they would see each other again soon. Back at home, Sophie gave Starshine a big hug before the unicorn disappeared in a flash of rainbow light. Over the next few weeks, Starshine returned to take Sophie on many more incredible adventures, to the top of mountains taller than the clouds, deep down to glowing caves full of crystals, and even out to sea to an island inhabited by mermaids and sea dragons. Sophie made lots of new friends, saw amazing places, and learned many things on her adventures with Starshine. The magical unicorn taught her to always follow her dreams and be kind to others. One day after returning from a long journey underwater to visit the Mermaid Queen, Starshine gave Sophie a special gift, a bracelet made of pearls from the Mermaid Kingdom. This pearl bracelet is enchanted with mermaid magic. "If you are ever in trouble, it will summon me to help you," she told Sophie. Sophie promised to keep the bracelet safe and only use its magic if she really needed to. Then, sadly, it was time for Starshine to return to her home in the secret Heartswood Forest. Sophie gave the unicorn one last big hug before waving goodbye as Starshine disappeared over the horizon. In the following weeks, Sophie missed her friend terribly. But she kept herself busy writing down all of the details of their adventures in her journal so she would never forget. She also practiced using her new wisdom and kindness every day, just as Starshine had taught her. One night, as Sophie was about to go to bed, she looked out her window and noticed strange fires burning in the nearby village. She could hear people shouting and knew something was wrong. Sophie quickly remembered her pearl bracelet and rubbed it to summon Starshine for help. In a blaze of light, the magical unicorn appeared. Sophie climbed onto Starshine's back and they raced towards the village. There they found people panicking because a crazed dragon was setting fires with its breath. Starshine charged at the dragon and used her magic to create barriers around the burning buildings, protecting the villagers. As the dragon swooped around for another pass, Sophie had an idea. She asked Starshine to fly up so she could leap onto the dragon's back. Sophie clung tightly to the dragon's neck as it thrashed about. She spoke gently to the dragon, explaining the damage it was causing. The dragon slowly calmed down as it listened to Sophie's kind words. Once the dragon was relaxed, she discovered it had hurt its wing on a tall tower. That's why it attacked the village. It was just cranky and in pain. Sophie forgave the misunderstanding and used her magic pearl bracelet to fully heal the dragon's injured wing. The grateful dragon flew Sophie safely back down to Starshine. Together, they had saved the village. The people below cheered and called Sophie a hero. She politely introduced the now friendly dragon and told everyone it had just needed some kindness and help. From that day on, the dragon lived peacefully with the unicorns in Heartwood Forest. And Sophie never forgot how her wisdom, courage and kindness had saved the day. She and Starshine remained best friends forever and went on countless more adventures over the years. The end.